Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Andrea Chisholm. A recommendation this evening from the PSOJ for lenders to consider longer-term financial support as the COVID-19 pandemic worsens. The call was made at a webinar hosted by the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, PSOJ. Andrew Laidley reports.
Since the outbreak of COVID-19, most financial institutions are offering payment deferrals and moratoriums to help clients cope. But as major economies around the globe brace for a second wave of the novel coronavirus, lead architect for the PSOJ SME project, Nevada Powell, is suggesting that longer-term financial support is required. He says, based on the forecasts, financial institutions should consider lending arrangements which last for at least 2 years.
We have to think in terms of 2 years, not just 3-month moratorium, 6-month moratorium, but be absolutely clear early on what happens after the 3-month moratorium. Because you're very likely to see the situation that the person you're lending to will extend beyond that that period of time.
He says bankers must exhibit more creativity in crafting their lending products, while noting that these strategies may involve higher interest rates for consumers.
So let's assume, which we will, that it's going to be erratic cash flows and payments, and therefore it's going to be with a start-stop economy. So you're going to have to build into the financial solutions, the lending, you're going to have to build in the moratoriums and the thing that keeps working through until the end of the 2 years when we have a vaccine and the payments will become more steady.
He's urging creditors to revisit how they determine the credit worthiness of individuals and businesses in light of the unsustainable economic climate.
In this environment, more than the business situation, character and capability of the owner needs to be weighed far more. You need an owner who can hustle. So you have an owner in front of you who, when COVID happened, he sold the inventory, he brought down his receivables, he cut down his costs, and another one who stayed and with deer in the headlights and didn't actually do anything. The better bet from a credit adjudication perspective will be the one who knew how to hustle, right? Capability of the owner is more critical now than the business situation.
Andrew Laidley, TVJ News.
121 employees of the National Commercial Bank NCB will lose their jobs come Friday. NCB will make their roles redundant. In a release, the bank said it's part of operational changes. NCB adds that it was able to redeploy some team members to new roles. Employees leaving the organization will get their full benefits and will also have access to career counseling as well as training in software development, digital marketing, and seed funding for entrepreneurial pursuits. Currency trading ended today with the US dollar selling for $141.36, the Canadian dollar $106.31. The pound is going for $108.32, while the euro sold for $160.28. To the stock market now, the JSE index lost 5,842 points today, while the junior market index gained 54 points. Among the winners, Indus Pharma, Lasco Manufacturing, JMMB Group 5.75% preference shares, Portland JSX, and ISP Finance Services. On the losing side were JMMB Group 7.25% preference shares, Cygnus Credit Investments US dollar shares, Mailpac, 1834 Investments, and Berger Paints. And that's it for the Business Day. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Good evening.